Hey everyone, good afternoon. First I want to preface by saying please forgive my appearance. It is 102 degrees in Texas today and I am hot. And I have on as many clothes as I legally need to have on to get through my day at work. So y'all forgive me. I am not trying to be carnal. I'm not trying to do none of that. It's just hot. And today was a dress kind of day at my job. Anyway, I want to talk about the fact that God always has a reason for doing what he's doing the way he's doing it. And a lot of times what we think is that because God is not doing something the way that we envisioned it happening, right, that he's not working. We think if he has not given us the job the way that we saw it, that he's not working. We think that if he's not answering our question or whatever we are praying for in this big, boisterous, amazing, burning bush kind of way, that he is not answering us. But the truth is that God is strategic. So everything that he does, no matter how you think it should be done, he's got a specific reason for doing it that way. I want to look at my life for a moment and just use a realistic example and say that I'm in ministry now and I have found my purpose. However, it didn't happen the way that I thought it was going to happen. I thought, I saw my life in a whole different way. I saw my life being in a completely different way and place than where I am now. But God said, I know where I have for you to go, and so I'm going to get you there my way. Now, the truth is, I didn't see myself ever being in ministry, and I definitely didn't think it would be the way that it happened. But God ultimately got me where he needed me to be in a way that hurt, that I didn't like, but that I needed in order to get me here. Because some of us are hard-headed. Some of us, we don't listen to God. I always think back to Jonah and the whale, right? God told Jonah specifically where to go, and Jonah said, nope, not doing it. I'm gonna do this thing my way. And he still ended up exactly where God wanted him to be. Now, it may have been in a way that was not preferential to him, but he got where he needed to be. It might have been in the belly of a whale. I ended up here in the belly of a whale, child. I ended up here through a lot of brokenness and a lot of pain. I ended up here through a lot of really bad relationships. That was always my proclivity. That was always my issue is relationships, because I didn't value myself, and I felt like I needed to have a relationship because I needed somebody else to make me feel whole when I was whole the whole time. But see, I went through so many years of breaking my own heart, trying to find who I was in other people, trying to get with a guy who could tell me that I was beautiful. And if he didn't tell me that all day, every day, I didn't feel like I was beautiful. Getting with people because my homegirl was engaged and my homegirl was married, and I just didn't want to be by myself. I didn't want to be the odd one out the group. So I got in a relationship, and it was horrible because I was broken, and what I was doing was going around looking for myself and other broken people. How many of you know you cannot get an accurate reflection of yourself in a broken mirror, right? And so that's what I was doing. I was going around looking in broken mirrors, trying to find myself. And I was here all along. I just was not, I wasn't in tune with God, so I wasn't aware of who I was. And so I could have got to ministry in a whole nother way. I could have went to seminary school. I could have been, ordained and all that. Or because I chose to do it a different way, God said, okay, you're not going to get where I have for you to go the right way. I see right now you're going to be hard-headed. I see you're going to make some mistakes. I see you're going to run from me for a while. So let me get you where I want you to be in a way that can get your attention. I'm still going to get you there, but it's just not going to be as easy as it would have been had you did your life the right way. And that's the truth. I had the option. We all have the option to do things the way God has called us to do. But 99% of the time, what do? We choose to go the way we want to go. And so God says, okay, I'm going to let you do it your way. And on the backside of that, I still have a way to get you where you're supposed to go. And the truth about it is, that is God's grace for us, y'all. The fact that we can screw up and still end up where God wants us to. God does not need us. He does not have to love us. He has chosen to love us. He has chosen to call us as jacked up, as messed up as we are. He has chosen to still work in our lives to better the lives of other people. And so when you are choosing to do things in a way God has not asked you to do, you're still going to end up where God wanted you to end up. It just may hurt. And so for me, it hurt a little bit because God had me, you know, he allowed me to really mess my own life up, to really make some bad choices, to really do some things I had no business doing. And he allowed me to get where I was supposed to be through a lot of hurt, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of pain, through some drugs, through going to jail, through being an alcoholic, through all of these different kind of things. And had I done my life right, I might not have been so broken. But the awesome part about it is my brokenness actually qualified me to be where I am. So God said, I'm not going to let the bad parts of your life go to waste. I'm still going to take them and flip them around and use them for your good. And I'm going to get you where I wanted you to be all along. And so when, and I struggled for a long time with feeling guilty because I didn't do things the way I should have done it. But God had to confront me about that a long time ago and say, listen, I know you didn't do it how it should have been done, but you still are worthy and you're still my daughter, and I'm still going to get you where you're supposed to be. So here I am now at 26, after doing my life my way for a long time. I'm still right where I was supposed to be. And the awesome part about it is I always wanted to be a counselor. I always wanted to help other people. So even when I was messed up, that was a desire in my heart. Guess what? I didn't have to go to seminary. I didn't have to get a degree to do it. I didn't have to do any of that, because the fact that I screwed up so bad, it really is what taught me. It's what God used to qualify me. So that, don't let anybody tell you that because you didn't do your life the right way, that you can't still end up where you're supposed to be. God is the master of taking really messed up, horrible things, taking the broken pieces in your life and flipping them around and still getting you where you're supposed to be. And we look at Paul in the Bible as one of my favorite characters, because Paul was very angry, very broken. He was Saul before he was Paul, and people were afraid of him. He was going around killing Christians and all of that. And a lot of people look at that and they're like, how did God take somebody that was killing his people and turn him around to use him for his people? Because the qualities in Paul that made him such a scary person, such an angry person, were actually his strengths. So God said, okay, you've been using these things in the wrong way. Now I'm getting ready to take them and I'm going to flip them around and I'm going to use them how I wanted to use them all along, and I'm going to get you where you're supposed to be. So we think that because we've gotten off track, or because we're not doing life how we should have, or how people said we should have, that God cannot still use that. God does everything that he does the way he does it for a reason, and it may not be pretty. It may not be easy. It may not be cushy. It may not look how you want it to look, but every single part of your life is usable to God, and it's still going to get you where you're supposed to be. You guys heard my testimony about my car. Well, my car had been messed up for a while, and I was like, Lord, I don't know how it's going to happen. God took an ugly circumstance of me getting off of work on a Friday with a flat tire, which was so frustrating. And he said, I know this don't look the way that you want it to look, but hold on, I'm doing it this way for a reason. And what happened? I got a stranger took care of all the tires on my car. So what I'm saying is, you may be struggling right now. You may be going through a season in life where you like, my life don't look nothing how I want it to look. Trust God through the process. I can guarantee you that there's a reason it's happening that way. If you're somebody that's got a baby and you're not married, trust him through the process. You don't know why God allowed it to happen the way that it happened. Stop beating yourself up because you didn't do life how everybody else did it, or you're not where everybody else is. God is allowing your life to go how it's going for a specific reason, because your testimony is going to bless somebody else. How could I go out and speak to people and help people and testify if I had never been through what it is that God has put on my heart to talk about? So I can't come out and talk to you about something I've never been through. Well, that's why God let me go through it. Now, hindsight is 20/20. When I was going through it, I didn't understand why. When I was drinking so that I could get through my feelings, I didn't understand why. When I was, sleeping around trying to find my identity, going through all these broken, messed up relationships, I didn't understand why. I thought, God, this is not fair. This is not how my life is supposed to be. But what it was an awesome, awesome, awesome opportunity for God to take my pain and my heartache and my brokenness and birth my purpose through that. Because I like to say that if I hadn't gone through a lot of the things that I went through, I would not have been so hungry for God. Y'all, I have drank. I have been an alcoholic. I mean, I was at a point where I was drinking all day, every day, just so I didn't have to feel the different things I was going through. My mom and dad thought they had lost me for a while because I had just went out in the world doing any and everything that I wanted to do. I wasn't close to my family. I had walked away from my family, and that's not how I envisioned my life. But the awesome part about it is that God took all of those broken pieces in my life and he gave me beauty from my ashes so that I could go out and I could testify to other young women that are going through it right now, and they have no idea how to get through it, and they have no idea who to talk to. They want to know God, but they don't know how. That's my passion. And so through all of that pain, God said, now I'm going to show you what your purpose is, which is to go out and help and bless other young women that are going through it. My ministry came out of pain. Y'all, we think that everything is birthed out of these pretty places. No, it's not. My purpose, I didn't get hungry for my purpose until my heart was broken so bad that I didn't think it could get put back together. And I was like, God, again, I was so angry at God last year because I was like, God, again, I finally thought I met my husband. Everybody around me is getting married. I'm 25 years old. God, I got it wrong again. It was another wrong relationship. How many more times do I have to go through this? And God said, see, that fire, that's what I needed you to have. Now use it in the right direction. And so I took that brokenness and that pain and I said, okay, God, I give it all to you. Now you take this and you flip it for your good. Show me what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, I'm single right now. Cool. I'm going to serve you with everything in me because I am on fire right now. Sometimes you got to get mad to get where you're supposed to go. Sometimes you got to get angry and you got to get broken before God can really start to work in you, because you're not open to him unless you're at rock bottom. Sometimes there are going to be some times in your life that God wants to do something for you, but you're not quite broken enough. Because sometimes, and when I say broken enough, I don't mean that to sound mean, but I'm saying there are times in your life where pain is the only thing that can get your attention. For me, I've always been the hard-headed type. So I've always been a type that pain is what gets my attention. And so God said, okay, if the only way I can get your attention right now is through some pain, because God has an appointed time for everything in our lives. So the age of 26, this was God's appointed time for me to come into my purpose. Well, I wasn't on schedule. I was lost in a relationship. I was doing other stuff. My mom was in other places, and God is like, okay, she's getting ready to come up on that season where I need her to be operating in her purpose, and she's not even close yet. How can I get my daughter's attention so I can get her where she needs to be in time enough for her to be where I've designated her to be? Well, pain. Because what happens, y'all, sometimes we don't even pray till we get hurt. We don't even pray till we're lacking. We don't even pray till we done got low. And so God said, okay, I'm going to allow her to go through some pain this year, so that next year she's right on track and on schedule with where I have her to be. She's walking in her purpose. She's operating in her purpose. Because what we don't think about is that God already has designated you for somebody else's life. Hello. There are a lot of people, and I'm not saying this to be cocky. I'm saying it because I've been that person. See, my best friend, Kelsey Brown, if she hadn't come into alignment when she did, she would not have been ready for God to use in my life when he did. And so what we got to understand is that it's not just about us. We all know that song, my life is not my own. To you I belong. So I give myself, Lord, I give myself to you. And every day I have to remind myself, when I get up and I'm in my feelings and I'm mad, I'm like, Lord, my life is not my own. This is not about me. It's about what you sent me here for. Because all of us that have a relationship with God know we are only on loan to this earth. We're not here. This is not our final home. We're going back home one day. But before we get there, we need to have done everything in this earth that we were sent here to do. And so if you're not in alignment with God's will for your life, you are slowing down the process for somebody else that needs you. There are a lot of women that have needed my ministry. And had I not been in alignment with God, had I not gotten hurt last year, which sent me looking for God and my purpose, my ministry would not be here this year for the people that it has blessed. And I'm so grateful for that, because to see how God works in ways that we don't even think he would work is such an awesome thing. I had no idea that going through heartbreak last year would help to work in the life of so many people this year. And so we got to understand that God may not always do everything how we think he should, but he's always going to do it the way he's doing it for a reason. So whatever you're going through right now, whether you're a single mom, whether you just lost your job, whether you have lost a loved one, whether you're going through a breakup, whether you are reconnecting with people, whether you are losing people, know that everything in your life, every single thing in your life is strategically done. God is not just doing it on a whim. He didn't just randomly decide to put you where you are. You're where you are for a reason. Things are happening how they're happening for a reason. Embrace it, trust God through the process, and know that no matter what it is, whether it's good or bad, he's doing it that way for a reason, and he's about to use it not just for your life, but the life of someone else today. So trust God through the process. He's doing it how he's doing it for a reason.